Ladies and gents, we have got a big bomber, a massive piece of news in the football world that is Manchester United have indeed sacked Ruben Amorim. After his post-match press conference yesterday in a draw with Leeds United, he said some bold things: sack me or back me. Now, results haven't been anywhere good enough for Manchester United under Ruben Amorim. They have had their lowest ever Premier League finish, finishing 15th. They got to a Europa League final and lost it. Right now, on the pitch, off the pitch, there is plenty of issues. Kobe Mainu issue. Is he going to get game time? His brother taking a selfie wearing 3 Mainu t-shirts. Bruno Fernandes' injury. Brian Mbuemo. And, of course, Ahmad are at the African Cup of Nations. The results haven't been anywhere near the level. Did they do enough in the transfer market? We got a lot to discuss. Make sure you go down and drop a like on the video if you haven't already, and you let me know your thoughts. Does he deserve the sack? Yes or no? And make sure you do hit that subscribe button. We are less than 500 from 87,000. And yes, you watching right now, 92% of you who watch the content on a daily basis have not subscribed. So please do that. Now, David Ornstein put this out a few hours ago. Bang. Exclusive. Manchester United sack Ruben Amorim as head coach. The 40-year-old Portuguese informed of decision and goes with immediate effect. After 14 months following a breakdown in relations, Darren Fletcher, the ex-Manchester United player, whose both sons were on the bench against Leeds United, he is expected to take over on an interim basis. Wow. 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 Now, Ben Jacobs come out yesterday following the news. He come out, I think it was yesterday, he said, or last night, he said that, Manchester United, as it stands, his future hangs in the balance. He was the first one to report on it. He said this: Ruben Amorim's future hangs in the balance now as Man United figures unimpressed at latest comments. Amorim is upset at the lack of movement in the market. His breakdown with Jason Wilcox. He wanted Ollie Watkins over in the summer, and a tense situation is developing. Now, let's call it what it is. Ruben Amorim is live or die by his system. The results this season haven't been anywhere near to what Manchester United want to do as a football club. Their season, for me, however, is still salvageable. They are only 6th in the Premier League. They're only a few points over the top 4. But as it stands, recent form hasn't been good enough. If you actually look at it on the right-hand side, 1 win, I think it's in 6-7 games. They have beaten Liverpool this season. They've beaten Chelsea this season. They've got a Manchester derby coming up. I believe Darren Fletcher will probably get a new manager bounce. But even if he gets a new manager bounce, wins 5 or 6 games in a row, that guy finally gets his haircut, whatever it may be, when it comes down to the summer window, when it comes down to next January, they need to get a manager and have the hierarchy of Manchester United, Ineos, working on the same page. You can't keep sacking managers left, right, and centre. But equally, Ruben Amorim had to go. Last year, finishing 15th, he should have been sacked after the Europa League final. They gave him a pre-season, and it didn't really work out the way people thought it would. Now, to be brutally honest with you, there's a lot of Man United fans that are happy, but there are some Man United fans that are not pleased with the situation. Now, my good friend Terry said this: it's a shame things didn't work out with Ruben Amorim, but at this stage, it was the right decision to part ways. I wholeheartedly agree. That said, I don't feel any real excitement about a replacement. I don't trust the ownership to build an elite squad. And realistically, I don't see United being in a significantly better position over the next couple of years. And I agree, even if Pep Guardiola come in, even if Carlo Ancelotti come in, even if Alex Ferguson himself come in to manage his squad, yes, results may have been better. Yes, they may get to a 50, 55% win rate. But is this squad good enough to finish in the top 4? Is a bold question. Is this squad actually good enough for where Man United want to be? No, it's not. Like, if we cast our minds back to the summer transfer window, they brought in Chido Obi from Arsenal on a free, Diego Leon for €4 million, Sesko for €76 million, Lemans for 21 million euros, Brian Mbeumo for 75 million, and Cunha for 74 million. The only two players or three players in there that's really worked out has been, Brian Mbeumo, Cunha, and of course, the goalkeeper. But Rashford didn't work out at Manchester United. Anthony's gone. Sancho's gone. They have spent a hell of a lot of money on players, and they don't necessarily get the return. Now, I do believe if they bring in a manager, say, if you look, for instance, at, let's say, I don't know, Palace's manager, for instance, Glasner, he would improve results. But again, when it comes back to recruitment, Ugarte for 50 million euros, Mazzari for 15 million euros, Dorgu for 30 million euros. Xerxes hasn't worked out because they don't play a system to these players' strengths. De Ligt's been a good signing, but it's like the narrative when it always comes around that Manchester United don't spend is absolute BS. If they bring in a manager who can actually coach and develop players and doesn't live or die by his system, Man United will be successful. I stand by that. I've said that so many times this season. Genuinely, I have. Manchester United's next 5 or 6 games aren't going to get easy by any stretch of the imagination. They've got a tough FA Cup game coming up against Brighton. They've got a Manchester derby. They've got Arsenal away. I do believe, however, they will go and comfortably beat Brighton. Not Brighton, Burnley. I think they'll put 2 or 3 goals past Burnley and keep a clean sheet. But they have to do something about this long term. His comments, sack me or back me. If he feels like he's been hard done by, and look, he hasn't. He hasn't necessarily been hard done by because they brought in 2 of the top 10 goal scorers last year in Cunha and Brian Mbeumo, and they haven't really hit the ground running like we all thought they would. They brought Premier League proven players. Benjamin Sesko, it hasn't worked out. If you look at the system he plays, it's always this 3 at the back system, which doesn't really play to a lot of the Man United players' strengths. Yes, yesterday against Leeds, they're missing Bruno Fernandes. Yes, they're missing Brian Mbeumo. Yes, they're missing Ahmad. But that team should still be beating Leeds, regardless. Absolutely regardless, it should be. And when you look at the bench options, to only bring on Joshua Xerxes, why couldn't any of these players come on? Yes, they've got 3 players that are missing. Yes, they've got Mount out. Yes, they've got Kobe Mainoo out. But it's still not good enough from a results business. And on that basis, he deserved to get sacked. It's as simple as that. I don't care how you want to dress it up. I don't care how you want to, say your piece. He had to go. Simple as that. You can't be Manchester United and be finishing 15th. Right now, they're 5th in the league, but they're only playing 1 game a week. Darren Fletcher is going to come in as Manchester United interim manager after Ruben Amorim. Now, that for me is literally going to be a 2-month job, maybe to the end of the season, 4 or 5 months, and bring in a new manager. Is it fair to bring in a new manager right now? Chelsea are in the same situation. Like, the favourite for Manchester United's next manager odds is actually Oliver Glasner. These names here are the favourites. Let me bring this up right now. Oliver Glasner's favourite. Enzo Maresca is up there. Gareth Southgate, Iriola, Michael Carrick. Iriola would be a good manager, but again, he's going to need time. Are Manchester United prepared to give a manager time? Oliver Glasner is probably the best bet there. But is he going to leave Crystal Palace halfway through the season when they could go on and win the Conference League when his contract expires in the summer? I don't think he does. As big as the club as Manchester United are, they have got to fix this and fix this very, very quickly. A lot of Man United fans are looking at Ineos as on fraud watch. And I'm not going to lie, I don't blame them. They're going to build a new stadium. Fantastic. They want to put money into the local community around Old Trafford. Fantastic. But at the end of the day, majority of Man United fans care about what goes on the pitch. And right now, 15th place finish, currently sitting 5th in the league. Tough games coming their way with Arsenal and Man City. Listen, it's going to be a very, very bumpy ride. I think Darren Fletcher will get a new manager bounce. I believe they will go and beat Burnley and they will beat Brighton. But after that, they've got to play Manchester City. They've got to play Arsenal away. It's going to be a very, very, very bumpy ride for Man United. And they have to get a manager in ASAP. You know, if they want to. I reckon they could, if Fletcher beats Burnley and Brighton and gets a decent result against City, they'll keep him to the end of the summer or start of the summer. But man, oh man. How many managers have they had now? How many managers have Manchester United had post Ferguson? I'm pretty sure Romano actually put a graphic out. I'm pretty sure he put it on Instagram with Ferguson up the top and all the other ones down below. But let me know your thoughts. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. I'm out.